Which specific brain regions are studied using MRI in schizophrenia? Have you ever wondered how scientists study the brain to understand schizophrenia? One of the most important tools they use is magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI. This technology allows researchers to look at specific brain regions that may be affected by this complex disorder. Let's take a closer look at these regions and what they reveal about schizophrenia. First, the ventricles are often a focal point in MRI studies. The lateral ventricles and the third ventricle can become enlarged in individuals with schizophrenia. This enlargement is linked to the loss of surrounding brain tissue and is a common finding across many studies. Next, the temporal lobe structures are significant. The medial temporal lobe, which includes the hippocampus, amygdala, and parahippocampal gyrus, plays a role in memory and emotions. In people with schizophrenia, these areas often show reduced volume. The superior temporal gyrus, part of the neocortex, also shows abnormalities, including decreased gray and white matter volume. Moving on, the frontal lobe is another area of interest. The prefrontal cortex, particularly the dorsolateral and orbitofrontal regions, is frequently examined. These areas are linked to executive functions, decision-making, and social behavior. In schizophrenia, these regions often demonstrate volume reductions or cortical atrophy. The parietal lobe is also studied, specifically the inferior parietal lobule, which includes the supramarginal and angular gyri. These regions are involved in sensory integration and spatial awareness and show moderate abnormalities in individuals with schizophrenia. Subcortical structures are important as well. The basal ganglia, which includes the caudate and putamen, often show volume changes that may be influenced by antipsychotic treatment. The thalamus, acting as a relay center for sensory information, also shows evidence of volume reduction. The corpus callosum, which connects the two brain hemispheres, often has abnormalities in many patients. Additionally, the cavum septi pellucidi, a midline brain structure, is frequently enlarged in those with schizophrenia. The cerebellum, while less consistently affected, has been reported to show abnormalities that may relate to motor and cognitive symptoms. Finally, MRI studies also focus on white matter integrity. Techniques like diffusion tensor imaging are used to assess connectivity disruptions between different brain regions. In summary, MRI research highlights abnormalities in brain volume and structure in several key areas, including the lateral and third ventricles, medial and neocortical temporal lobes, frontal and parietal lobes, subcortical nuclei, corpus callosum, and sometimes the cerebellum. These findings suggest that schizophrenia involves widespread brain changes affecting circuits related to cognition, emotion, and sensory processing. As research continues, MRI remains a vital tool for identifying these brain alterations, tracking their progression, and guiding diagnosis and treatment.